What's going on, guys? Ingersoll back here with another draft review. Today, doing Roman Wilson, wide receiver from Michigan. So, Roman Wilson is a fourth-year senior out of Honolulu, Hawaii. He is 6 foot even, 192 pounds, speedster. This year in 2023, he had arguably a career season of 48 receptions for 789 yards, 12 touchdowns, which is a career high. One carry for 10 yards. Long of the year was a 47-yard catch. He is fast. He doubled every single category, if not tripled every single category from his 2022 campaign, which in 2022, for comparison, he only had 25 receptions in 2022 for 376 yards compared to a 48 receptions for 789 yards. Only picked up 4 touchdowns in 2022 compared to 12 this season. And then he had 2 carries last season, only had 1 this season, but he doesn't carry the ball. He's a wide receiver. Awards, nothing notable. This is his first breakout year, and he was the number 1 guy for Michigan, for J.J. McCarthy's, for the national championship team. He was never the number 1 guy, so no awards on his resume. Just because he doesn't have any awards on his resume does not show the full picture of who he is as a player. So going into his strengths. So the first strength that I noticed is his 40 time. He ran a 4.37 40 time, which is in the 90th percentile. He has a shuttle of 4.01 and a vertical of 40.5 inches, which for a 6 foot small guy wide receiver, he can get up there, which shows in his game. So continuing on to his strengths. He is an athlete. He is an elite he has elite athletic skills. Once again, he clocked a 4.27 40. He hit 6.2 3-cone drill, 10.76 6-yard shuttle. He had a 3.77 shuttle time and a 10.76 6-yard time. He is fast. He is speedy. He is nimble. He can move from left to right. He can zigzag. He's just a speedster, truly. Our guy, Roman Wilson, has long arms. He might be a 6 foot. He might be short. Yes, 6 foot short in the NFL. Sorry to break it to you. But long arms allows him to play bigger than his size, and he has a frame that carries a little more weight. Got athletic build. He's got a lot of muscle in his legs. He's fast. Roman Wilson is able to track the ball well downfield, and he shows very good ball skills, and including the ability to go up in high point and contested catch situations, which that plays back into his 40-inch vert. He gets up there. He makes up for that lost height, per se. Wilson has strong hands, which shows in his game. Strong hands, strong ball skills, and including the ability to go up in high points, contested catches. He's a very competitive guy. He has an inner sense of timing when it comes to elevating for high balls. Once again, using his athletic build. He has a good IQ, which for a wide receiver, if you don't have good IQ, you're not going to be successful. He's got a good IQ, which is great. Once again, playing to his athletic build. He's very active feet. He keeps his eyes up, so he dodges traffic. He is prone to weaving through defensive backs, getting behind them, using his explosiveness and acceleration to create a mismatch, which is really good as someone who is a true deep ball threat. However, playing into his weaknesses, I didn't find much weaknesses in this film. However, my big thing, I found three big flaws in his game. He has a drop problem. Yes, good hands, good athletic build, good acceleration, but he's dropping the ball a little more than he should. He gets the press. He's not that successful, to put it frankly. He spends too much time fighting out of the line of scrimmage, which leads to contested balls, contested catches, and he fights a little too much than he needs to. He has too many double catches in his highlight reel that I saw. That's which shows up in excessive catch. He'll go up for the ball, he'll catch it, he'll fumble it, then he'll have to like do some sort of athletic move, like a swim dive or almost, if you want to call it, to bring the ball back down. Which is a problem in the red zone if he wants to score it, he wants to be a true deep ball threat. That's not that big of a flaw when you really look at it though. He has good hands. That's something that he can work on in the NFL level. Something that's going to be difficult for him, though, as he's a small guy. He is 6 foot, 193. He can't run block. He's again if he tries to run block against a bigger size DB or a linebacker or for goodness sakes a defensive end for some reason, he's gonna get flattened. He's an aggressive guy. He has a lot of spark in him. However, that doesn't mean much if you're only 6 foot. If bigger guys are bound to, well, flatten you. But anyways, onto the film, because that shows his true strengths. So his first play was in the national championship. J.J. McCarthy threw an absolute seed to him, weaved through 2 defenders, explosive. He had explosive speed coming off to track down the ball. Very impressive. And then same play, but a different angle that shows how he outmaneuvered the defensive back on the Huskies, weaving across the field, exploding in the back end to track down the ball. Which, as an athlete, as someone who has that sort of build, showing that explosiveness and that speed, and how he can outmaneuver defensive backs, it's great. And then my favorite play on his reel that shows off his hands. Look at that. You that's something that you cannot teach. Going over the defender, getting your hands in front of the defender's face to grab the ball. Those are hands you cannot teach kids. And as someone who's a speedster, who's got good hands, yes, still has a drop struggle, a drop rate we have to work around. But now I don't see a lot of NFL caliber wide receivers who are making this sort of play. Now, onto his NFL comparison, which I dug deep, and I found the man, the myth, the legend, Kadarius Toney himself. They are the exact same build. They are both 6 foot, 192, 193 pounds. Both are extremely fast. Can get off the ball super quick. Both have longer arms, have good hands. However, as you know about Kadarius Toney, he has a little bit of a drop problem, which so does Roman Wilson. Roman Wilson, like Kadarius Toney, can be utilized well in the kick return game, in the punt return game, can be put on the ends as a deep ball threat to hopefully use that speed and that like second tier acceleration to outmaneuver and to outperform the defensive back. However, you have to just really put the realization is that it does not matter how fast and athletic he is, his size can be an issue. His hands can be an issue. Those are stuff that you can teach. You can train those, and well, Kadarius Toney was a first round pick for a reason, because he had these tools, these untapped raw potential tools. My prediction for Roman Wilson is he is likely a late day 2 to early day 3 guy, anywhere from 3rd round to maybe even the 5th round. So I can see a team I can see a team seeing his untapped potential, his raw tools, his speed, his athleticism, his hands, his length, and trying to develop it. Get him some reps right away as a kick returner, punt returner, like the Bengals did with Charlie Jones, for example. And yeah, I think Roman Wilson has a lot of potential. His game he had against Alabama for the Rose Bowl and against Washington in the national championship, I believe showed his potential and showed what he can do in the NFL level.